Hi guys, pull up a seat and stay a while. Let's visit while we make a roast this morning. We are going to slow cook a pork roast, pork butt boneless. And the reason we use this, they use this a lot in tamales and different types of Mexican cooking because it has quite a bit of fat content, and that marbling tenderizes the meat when you slow cook it, and it just makes the best shredded pork meat. So we're going to use that as opposed to, say, a loin cut, which has very little fat. So we're going to rinse this off first. It's right out of the packaging. And we're going to take it and lay it right into the crock pot. There we go. This is a little different camera angle for me. I hope it works better. And watch me go through this process. And I'm going to wash my hands. Get that meat off my hands. And then we're going to season it. And then we're going to plug it in and we're going to cook it. We're going to cook it about 6 to 8 hours. I'll let you know what the total time ends up being. Probably be about 7 hours when it's all said and done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get, I've got a new sea salt grinder. Let's use that to salt this bad boy. If you get a little camera jiggle, I do apologize. Okay, so on this thing, you can set fine, medium, and coarse. Let's turn it to medium. Let's put some salt on this thing. Oh yeah, I like that. And then we are going to add, let's use a fresh pepper. I've got that one set on about medium. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see those pepper flakes on camera? Delicious. Now, I'm going to use cumin. Well, let's stick with our basics. So we got salt, pepper. Now we'll do the powders. We're going to start with granulated onion powder. You want to get it all over. Yep. And then we want granulated garlic powder. Yep. Now we want to use some ground cumin. Then, we got to get our chili powder. And we're going again to use our California chili powder. So that's kind of a staple ingredient for us. It's the California chili powder, one of our pantry staples with our anytime we season meat. It's not real strong. Again, this is made out of Anaheim chilies, so it's a very mild chili powder. And that's the end of that one. We're going to have to get some more. Okay, so that's the essential flavors. Now to really boost this thing, I'm going to turn the water back on and get ready to wash my hands again because we're going to rub those seasonings in here. Oops, I already bumped the camera. Rub those seasonings around. Get it all seasoned up all over. This will help your meat considerably to do that. Don't just sprinkle it on there and not rub it in. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to need to move this to the side. We are going to cut some garlic. Cutting board here. I've got a head of garlic. And I'm going to break this over the sink. It makes it easier to clean out, but what I want to do is get the loose skin off, like that. And then I'm going to break it down a little more, as much as the skin will come off on its own. Then I'm going to lay that, scoot that over. There you go. I'm going to lay this garlic and still pulling it apart. Now see, that was the root, and it just pulls off. So cut it in half, and then just start pulling it apart. We're not going to eat that anyway. We're just going to use it to season. And then we're going to peel some ginger. I actually prefer to use a peeler for that. See if I can get one without making the camera jump too much. So I just use a potato peeler. You know, if you're not familiar with cooking sorts of things, hopefully this video will give you some ideas and some direction and help you out. I hope my prep doesn't offend too many people. But the truth is, I worked in the kitchen for many years. There's a lot of rules and a lot of correct ways and not correct ways to do things. But when you're cooking at home, all that's out the window, really. I mean, except aside from food safety and your own health, I don't want to slice your fingers off or anything. But, how you choose to prep things like this. Like I didn't completely break down the garlic or the ginger or do some of those things. Doesn't matter. It's still going to taste good. It's still going to be just absolutely delicious. There we go. Now, we've got ginger and garlic on that. Let's see what else we can dig out of the fridge. Haven't got to yet. Oh, we are going to put a yellow onion in there. Yes, we are. I bought an extra yellow onion. Oh, here's some celery we can throw in. That's because we're using it for a roast. And again, we don't have to break it down too far. I'm going to coarsely cut this onion, put it in there. So right on top. I'll put some down there on the side. Okay. Then, this wasn't planned, but it'll help add moisture to, as the onions and the garlic and all that cook, the celery will start to break down in the heat and disperse moisture, which will help get the flavors of these herbs down into the meat. So we're just going to lay the celery right on top. Oops. Like that. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now we've got our onion. There's our main savory ingredients, right? So we've got our bring that over here again. All our main savory ingredients. We've got the fresh ginger, fresh onion, fresh garlic, and we're not making a mirepoix, so we don't need to add carrots, although I could. There's no point because I'm not going to really use the broth. I'm doing all this to flavor the meat. We're not adding water because there's a lot of fat in this meat that's going to cook out, and the celery will add liquid. So there's no point. You'll notice I put the fat cap on the bottom. That'll protect the meat from the heat point. and just help it cook in there and be tender on the bottom. So there we go. That's it. We're going to put a lid on it. We're going to put it on low. First, I normally put it on high for 1 hour, and then I turn it down to low, and we'll let it cook for, I'll check it in about 7 hours. And then we'll see how it is in the morning. And we cook it at night, so I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. I'm just going to turn this on, let it cook, and we'll check it in the morning, and we'll let you see what it looks like. And then we'll talk about what are we going to do with this pork roast. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, it's the next morning and a little bit later than I planned for, but we're going to put a thermometer into the meat. We want it to be at about 170. I'm going to put the thermometer in it. Yeah, it's done. Now the good thing that the broth will be used for is to help keep that meat flavored and moist when we cut it apart. We're also going to save these garlic cloves. You can just pinch them and the garlic will come out of the skins. I need to get a bowl. Whoops, those are hot. Oh yeah, perfect. That's the temperature. Slightly over. If we would have been up and got them at the time. So I'm going to save the onion. Save that garlic because I'm going to peel it and save the cloves. They will be absolutely delicious. Now this also is boneless. You can get them with the bone in them. There it is. But then you're just paying for bone. And didn't want to add the bone to the weight. There it is. So we're just gonna shred this up and portion it out. We'll freeze some of it, keep some in the refrigerator, and watch future videos to feature this roast. Okay guys, so I left the kitchen for a little bit and Herman went to work on this roast. Here's the garlic and onions all peeled and ready. That's gonna be delicious. And then we saved these containers from Denny's. They're really good containers and they're microwavable. So we've got 2 containers full of the meat. And we're going to make some tacos on the homemade flour tortillas. Let's give it a taste. Okay, we're going to do the taste, but first we're going to warm up a homemade flour tortilla. We give it 10 seconds in the microwave. And then we're also going to use a little mild salsa. And a little bit of sour cream. That's more than 10 seconds. Whoops. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit of onion. this. And we're going to take a little bit of garlic. We're going to take a little bit of this meat while it's still hot and fresh. Oh yeah, that's money right there. Another little piece here. Oops, that's enough. Okay. Now, just need to get a spoon. Yeah, put a little bit of also in here. Just a little bit, a little freshness. And we'll rinse that off. I get a little sour cream action going on here. Drizzle. Okay, now we're ready to do our taste test. We're going to wrap this puppy up. Ooh, delicious burrito. Here we go. Okay, here's our burrito. Let's taste test that meat. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. So tender. One of many uses that this meat will be used for. Mm. Okay. Mm. Watch for future videos. We're going to be making about 3 or 4 video recipes out of this roast. I'm going to tell you what, but I'll put a link to how to make the roast in the videos and a link to these wonderful flour tortillas. Mm. Thank you for watching. That was really good. You got to do this, really. You can feed the family. This lasts Carmen and I a couple of weeks. You could feed a family of 4 a couple of times off of this, depending how you use it. If you're making tacos, it'll last a really long time. Burritos. But we're going to show you some other ideas coming right up. So stay tuned. All right, lovefromthekitchen777.com.